Well, hello, hope you guys are well. Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Gary. I'm a photographer on YouTube. I've been on here for over 8 years now, and I've been a photographer for a lot longer than that. And if you're returning, then hello, welcome back. Hope you guys are well. Good to see you again. Thanks ever so much for taking the time to tune in and watch. Now today, I'm in a local woodland. I mean, I say local, it's about 25 minutes from my house, but it's just semi-local. And I've been here a number of times before. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really that fussed about getting some photos today. I mean, I am, but the subject of the video isn't really the location. It's actually about a new camera that I've bought. So let me tell you, in the spring, this whole place here is awash with bluebells. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's tricky to photograph because it is quite messy. Now, through there, we've got some nice woodland that I've shot before, which I'm going to probably go and have a look at, and there's some birches through there as well. But I sort of stumbled across this scene here, which is this really nice, I think it's a beech tree. And when the sun wasn't quite so violent as it is at the moment, it was casting some really nice diffuse light onto the left hand side of the tree, which is kind of what attracted me to it. I'm just waiting for that sun just to pop in again, so we've got that nice diffuse light again. And then you've got some nice leaves above it, and then underneath you've got the bracken that's sort of tailing off to the left hand side, which is quite a nice shot. The sun's just dipping, so let me just get this shot while it is, because actually what I want here is as little sunlight as possible. I want that diffuse light. Sun's back now. Okay, so enough about that for a second. Let me talk to you about the camera. So essentially what I've got here is a Sony a7CR. Oh, perfect light. Wait a minute. Wait there. That's really good. Okay, now it's difficult, this one, because it's like most people would just say, oh, fancy a new camera, go out and buy a new camera. But I feel like kind of you guys are kind of invested in my choices and what I get after what happened. So if you're new and you don't know, earlier on this year I had all my gear stolen from London, and that was a Sony a7R3. Many lenses, some adapters, all my vlogging gear, etc. Lots of things disappeared, and unfortunately there's an issue with insurance. You know, that's all gone now, but you guys generously helped me out and got me back on my feet again. So now I feel like I'm kind of indebted to you to give you an explanation when I decide to purchase a new camera, which sounds crazy, but it's probably true. So as part of the generosity that was shown to me, I was given a OM Systems OM5, which, can I say, was a fantastic little camera. Brilliant camera, perfectly good. Just going to get this again, just while this light is low. I just want to get a couple. Beautiful camera, and one that I was, really happy with. Well, I was really happy with it. So much so that I actually purchased more lenses for it. I got a wildlife lens for it, got a few other bits and pieces for it. But I think partly I lost my mojo for photography, and I think partly that was down to the theft. Partly it's down to the time of year, but also partly it was down to the theft. And there was always this nagging thing in my head that I'd never really given up on the Sony. I'd had it taken away from me. And I loved my Sony. I used to, you know, I really enjoyed photography with it. And I always kind of felt a bit like that was taken from me. So as much as I was happy with the OM systems, I think I wasn't ready to change. I wasn't ready to go to a different system because I really liked my Sony. So I sat there one day looking at all my gear and just thinking to myself, I'm not going out and taking any photos with this. So maybe it's time to have a change. And sort of worked out what I could do and what I couldn't do in terms of, you know, finances, and plumped for this, the Sony A7CR. So got it from Panama's, which can I say are a fantastic company. And I've basically gone and got the suite of lenses that I had with the original, with my original Sony. So there you have it. That's where we're at essentially. New camera, old system, and yeah, we're just going to see how it goes. I've already been to London with it, which I really enjoyed, and I rebought some vintage lenses, and I bought some new vintage lenses which I will be sharing with you as we go along. Hi, I just want to jump in here really quickly just to clarify a couple of things, because I don't think I explained them very well while I was out in the woodland. When I say that I purchased a new camera and worked out finances, I just need to let you know that no additional money has been used to get anything. Basically, I've traded in or sold all of the equipment that I actually originally purchased in order to get this new stuff. So this is like a whole new system here, and it's not something that I've added to my original stuff. It's something that's completely replaced it. So it's still the same money being recirculated essentially. Anyway, back to the video. I'll tell you what, enough of me waffling. Why don't we take a look at this image and see what you think. So I quite like this scene behind me here with this birch tree in full leaf. But this one weirdly, well not weirdly, but conversely, this one works better with a bit of direct sunlight on it. So whereas the other one benefited from the soft light, this one benefits much more from a bit more harsh light, because as it stands at the moment, you can see here, it's just a sea of green, and the fact there's no light on it really doesn't help to bring out the individual elements, whereas as soon as you get a little bit of direct sunlight on it, it makes a big difference. So I've taken a shot with it overcast like it is now, but I've also taken a shot with some direct light on it, and I'll show you those two, and hopefully you can agree with me, or maybe not, but you can see what I'm trying to talk about, where I'm saying that having that little bit of extra light really brings out some of the detail in the image. So unfortunately for me, this image hasn't quite worked. And as I said when I was out on location, I was worried that the main subject of the image, which is the central birch tree and the leaves which are coming out to the left hand side, would get lost in a sea of green. I did at the time feel perhaps that the sunlight might bring that out, but as you can see, it hasn't worked. Now what would have perhaps helped would have been some separation with some, say, mist or fog in the background, or maybe in a few weeks time when the colours have turned and they're more autumnal, you may get some different shades on the actual birch tree compared to the background, and that would have brought it out. But such is life, and it's always worth taking the shot just in case. So when I was looking around at cameras, again at Sony systems, one of the things that drew me towards the A7CR is the 61 megapixel sensor. So I know people say it doesn't really matter and it shouldn't really matter about megapixels, and to a point they're correct. In a setting like this, it doesn't matter if you're shooting with 15 megapixels or 100 megapixels, but I did notice a massive difference between the OM systems and my old A7R3, which was a 42 megapixel camera when it comes to wildlife, because you just can't punch in the same way that you can punch in with the with this one. So having that 61 megapixels really does make a massive difference for me in terms of my wildlife photography. So that is one of the key factors in me changing. So I've got this scene in front of me here that I really like, and again this one actually is going to benefit from no light or no direct sunlight. So what we've got a really prominent birch tree here on the right hand side of the image, and then you've got some overhanging leaves or branches just beyond the trunk, and then in the background you've got a nice lighter area which actually looks really nice. So I envisage this as a letterbox image, and what I'm going to do probably is put this trunk far over onto the right hand side, and then really try and emphasize this light that's behind, because I think the light is what makes the image. It's actually really nice. You've got some really, it's like the tree and the branches are framing this light in the background. I think that's going to be actually a really nice shot. So as you could probably tell from all the road noise, I'm back at the car now. As I said, this was just a little wander really, just to say hello and just to introduce you to my new camera. But I think actually I might have got some half decent shots as well, so you know, that's always a bit of a bonus. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you understand the reasons why I've switched my camera system. Yeah, I've got a couple more videos coming out from London, as I said, because I've been there, a couple more A to Zs, and then we'll see from there. So anyway, I want to say a big thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.